All board everyone, please remain seated, keeping hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. Please be sure to supervise your children. Keep them away from the edge of the benches and the openings of the train, ensuring that they too are seated at this time. Like we said, our next available stop is going to be Mickey's Toontown Depot. As a friendly reminder, New Orleans Square Station is closed. The train's going to stop there for operational purposes, but there will be no disembarking.
And Circle Tour of the Magic Kingdom. We'll be stopping at New Orleans Square, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland. We'll also visit the Grand Canyon and make a trip back in time to the primeval world and the age of the dinosaurs before returning to Main Street Station. As we begin our journey, remember that for a safe trip, you need to stay seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your children.
Bienvenidos a bordo del Disneyland Railroad. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
Our first stop is New Orleans Square Station. But to get there, we need to pass through the wilds of Adventureland. It may seem peaceful through here, but trust me, it's a real jungle out there. Literally. So be on the lookout. You just never know what might be lurking along the rails. Just ahead is New Orleans Square Station. This station also serves Frontierland and Critter Country. If you'll be leaving us here, please remain seated until the train comes to a complete stop. Then watch your step as you're getting off. For those of you continuing on with us, we'll be resuming our trip in just a moment. This is New Orleans Square Station, New Orleans Square.
As we enter the station, we do kindly ask that you remain seated. Like I said before, this station is currently closed, so there will be no boarding, no disembarking at this particular station as New Orleans Square Station is closed. Our next available stop will be Mickey's Toontown Depot. The trains do need to stop here for operational purposes, just to fill up our engine with some water and change out our engineer crews. As soon as those things are done, this train will be departing. Please remain seated at all times.
Puedes comprar al Max y estarlo rolando. Eso son bien, digo. Pero este checkpoint está de volada. ¿Hay fantasmas o no?
It's a small world in kind of protection.
Claro que no.
Tienes Moon Girl. Tenemos que ver el de las 3 porque a las 5:30, a las 6 tenemos entrada para acá.
stop this video. Sin presión.
Alright, so go ahead and sit tight a little bit. We're just gonna be waiting here for a couple more minutes. Once we get our finish to the part,
Are you gonna come?
you know, Alright, friends, we are done filling up our engine with some water. Go and take those seats. This train's ready to depart. All bellboys line, please remain seated, keeping hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. Please be sure to supervise your children. Keep them away from the edge of the benches and the openings of the train, ensuring that they too are seated at this time. Our next stop is going to be Mickey's Toontown Depot. It'll be your stop for Toontown, Fantasyland, and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
To those just joining us, welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. To ensure a safe ride, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
We're now entering the bayou, soon to be home to Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Princess Tiana swears there's magic out here, and wherever there's magic, there's bound to be surprises. Blue skies and sunshine. Speaking of surprises, this place we're passing over is chock full of them. Here in Critter Country, you can join Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, and other beloved critters on fun-filled adventures where anything can happen. As we steam past Hungry Bear Restaurant, the last outpost in these parts, we're now joining up with the rivers of America and entering the frontier as it looked more than a century and a half ago. This is my favorite part of the journey. Around every bend, there's natural beauty as far as the eye can see. There is the revered Indian shaman, sharing his stories with those in the great river valley below. People like you have been riding these rails since the 1800s, traveling through nature's wonderland in a matter of days, rather than the months it used to take by mule or stagecoach. Steam power not only fueled these iron horses, but the dreams of a whole new generation as it moved west into this great frontier. Of course, some of those dreams, and the stories that went with them, were pretty darn wild and downright unbelievable. Like on Big Thunder Mountain, where I hear that mysterious spirits have grabbed hold of those mining trains and turned them into the wildest ride in the wilderness. This tunnel signals our transition from the frontier to another kind of ear, the ones you'll find on Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Our next stop is Toontown Depot, official train station for Mickey's Toontown, a cartoon home where Mickey, Minnie, and all their friends live. Toontown Depot is also the gateway to Fantasyland, where you'll find many of your favorite Disney animated characters and stories. If you're leaving us here, please wait until the train comes.
As we enter the station, we do kindly ask that you continue to remain seated until the train has come to a full and complete stop. This sign here is Mickey's Toontown Depot. It is your stop for Fantasyland attractions like It's a Small World, the Matterhorn Gunflow, Peter Pan's Flight, the Mad Tea Party, and so much more. As well as your closest stop to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. For you folks riding to Star Wars The Land, this will be your stop. Once again, please remain seated until the train fully stops. Watch your step.
There's a whole thing up in the back there.
I don't understand. There was
Good job. He's excited. Yes, he says.
The water bottle's inside.
Yeah, I'll just start holding him. He misses his foot.
It's a nice picture of you. I love it.
I'll try not to sit here and not sit really. This is tiny.
So it's like, but it's definitely more.
He's like, I would
Continue to have a blessed
Welcome aboard, everyone. At this time, this train is currently holding on a red light. All that means that the train in front of us has not yet departed the next station. As soon as they do, we'll get our green light and this train will be going. Until then, please remain seated, and parents, please be sure to supervise your children. Our next stop down the line is going to be Tomorrowland Station. It will be your gateway to the future. Once again, friends, we're just running on a red light. As soon as we get our green light, this train's going to move. Please remain seated, and parents, please be sure to supervise your children. Alright, friends, gonna take those seats. This train is about ready to depart. As a friendly reminder, our New Orleans Square Station is currently closed due to construction we have going on at the Haunted Mansion. So there will be no boarding nor disembarking at New Orleans Square. As once again, our New Orleans Square Station is currently closed. All New Orleans lands and attractions can be reached through our Main Street station. So Main Street is going to be your stop for not only the front entrance and downtown Disney, but for Adventureland, Frontierland, Critter Country, and of course New Orleans Square. If you're looking ahead to any of those stations, that Main Street station is going to be your stop. We'll be departing here just momentarily. Please remain seated, and parents, please be sure to supervise your children. Like we said, our next stop is going to be Tomorrowland.
I can put orange brain on this side and then she can on this side. But she didn't really eat them, so I don't think so. It was really good. Admit it.
I'd rather that than
As the first visit.
oh, it should be
Alright, folks, this train is leaving. Please remain seated, keeping hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. Please be sure to supervise your children. Keep them away from the edge of the benches and the openings of the train, ensuring that they too are seated at this time. Like we said, our next stop is Tomorrowland Station, your gateway to the future.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on the Disneyland Railroad. For a safe ride, remember to stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Y bienvenidos a bordo. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren. Y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
As we leave Toontown Depot, we get a real nice view of the happiest land of them all, Fantasyland. You can see people stepping onto It's a Small World just below us. And, off in the distance, majestic Matterhorn Mountain.
完全に止まり、下船していただく指示が出されるまでは席を立たないでください。ご協力ありがとうございます。Por favor,
What is this?
We're now steaming forward into the future to a land inspired by visions of tomorrow, both practical and imagined. you'll find rocket ships and star speeders, submarines and astroblasters, and if you look overhead, maybe a glimpse of a Mark 7 monorail. This is the latest version of the first daily operating monorail system in the entire Western Hemisphere, gliding above Disneyland since 1959. Below the monorail, and us, are the fun-filled roadways of the Autopia. Drivers of all ages can get behind the wheel of these cars. No experience or license required. If you're into soaring spaceships or doing battle with evil empires and emperors, Tomorrowland is definitely the place for you. Speaking of which, we're pulling into Tomorrowland Station right now. If you're leaving us here, just stay seated until we come to a full stop. Gather your belongings, including lightsabers and astroblasters, and step carefully from the train. Thanks, and have fun in the future. For the rest of you, just sit tight. We'll be on our way again in just a minute.
As we enter the station, we do kindly ask that you remain seated until the train has come to a full and complete stop. This right here is Tomorrowland Station. It's your stop for Autopia, Space Mountain, Buzz Lightyear's Astroblasters, the monorail, and Star Tours. The adventure continues. Once again, please remain seated until the train has come to a full and complete stop. Welcome aboard, everyone. At this time, our engineers are just oiling up the engine. As soon as they are done, this train is ready to depart. Please remain seated, no parents. Please be sure to supervise your children. As a friendly reminder, our New Orleans Square Station is currently closed due to construction we have going on at the Haunted Mansion. So there will be no boarding nor disembarking at New Orleans Square. As once again, our New Orleans Square Station is currently closed. All New Orleans lands and attractions can be reached through our main street station. Alright folks, this train is headed over. Please remain seated, keeping hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. Please be sure to supervise your children. Keep them away from the edge of the benches and the openings of the train. Ensuring that they too are seated at this time. Like we said, our next stop is going to be Main Street Station. But before we get to Main Street though, we are going to go through a tunnel. As we enter the tunnel, we do kindly ask that there is no flash photography or video lighting. And take courtesy to the people around you. Once again, please no light in the tunnel up ahead.
To those who have just come aboard, welcome. The next leg of our journey will take us from the fantastic world of the future to the breathtaking beauty of nature's own design, the Grand Canyon. For your safety, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. Watch your children and no flash photography.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Por favor, no tome fotografías con flash.
That was the Grand Canyon as we know it today. But it wasn't always this way. Now, let's travel back in time, way back in time, to the fantastic past of the primeval world, land of the dinosaurs. We're now returning to our own time and to Main Street Station, gateway to Disneyland. If you're leaving us here, stay in your seat until we come to a full stop. Remember to gather all your personal belongings and step carefully from the train. I'd especially like to thank those of you who've been with me for the Grand Circle Tour of Disneyland. We hope you enjoyed your travels with us and that you'll come back to ride with us again real soon. For those of you staying with us,
As we leave the station, we do kindly ask that you remain seated until the train has come to a full and complete stop. This right here is Main Street Station. It's your stop for the park entrance, Downtown Disney, Adventureland, Frontierland, Critter Country, and New Orleans Square. Just a friendly reminder, this station is going to be stairs only. There are no elevators. It is stairs only here. So please keep all strollers and wheelchairs folded until you reach the bottom of the stairs. Watch your step.